Hi, I'm Barb, Meeple PhD, and as an astronomer, I see the universe in everything that I do, including board games. So in this series, I am taking a look at the different board game mechanisms as listed on Board Game Geek, and finding where I see them at work in the universe. This time, I'm looking at the mechanism of grid coverage. This is a mechanism where players are placing differently shaped pieces in order to fill a grid. One game where this is at work is in Patchwork. In Patchwork, players have a 9x9 grid in front of themselves. They are trying to make the most beautiful quilt. They're doing this by buying different oddly shaped tiles that represent scraps of fabric that they are then sewing down on their board, sewing together into a quilt. Another game that uses grid coverage is the Isle of Cats. This is a game where players are trying to rescue cats from an island that is going to be under attack soon. And they're trying to pack as many cats as they can on their ship. And the cats come in differently shaped polyomino shapes because, of course, cats find themselves in weird positions as if they don't follow the rules of physics. Now, what this made me think of in the universe is one of the ways that we study it. And this is in doing all-sky surveys. So you've probably heard of telescopes like Hubble that take, pointed observations. They look at individual objects and point at them for a long time. There are other telescopes whose focus is to do a survey of the entire sky, trying to observe as much of the sky as it can in a systematic way. One recent example of this is NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite. Its job was to monitor starlight for tiny dips in that light that would indicate that a planet was orbiting it, temporarily blocking a tiny bit of that light. So to do this, TESS stares at patches of sky for about a month at a time. Its cameras are aligned in this long, thin rectangle. And so it points that in one direction for a month. And then it moves just a little bit to catch the next swath of the sky next to that and stares at that for a month. And then it moves again. And doing this over a year, it covers an entire hemisphere of the sky. In its second year, it switched the other direction and did the same thing to the other hemisphere. Now, it's been up for more than 2 years, so it continues to monitor those same patches of sky, repeating what it's done in the past, but also covering in some regions that it hadn't seen before. So this is what I think of when I think of grid coverage. It's a way to kind of catch the entire sky and over the lifetime of a mission of a satellite, getting a picture of our entire sky in some way. So TESS is looking at optical light. And so, these different surveys tell us different information. So the next time you're playing a game trying to fill up a grid in front of yourself, take just a minute instead to pretend that you are planning some operations of a telescope trying to cover the entire sky. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back again. I'm taking a random walk through these board game mechanisms on Board Game Geek and looking at where I see them in the universe. If you want to know when my next one comes out, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications. Otherwise, you can find me in the meantime on Instagram and Twitter as @MeeplePhD, and I have a blog at meeplephd.com.